Great day, kings and queens. Yeah, welcome to another conversation with Drew, where it's truly an honor to be able to share this gift with you guys. Truly humbling and such a blessing, to share the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that I've gained through these experiences and through studying that's causing me to become the best version of myself, in hopes that what I share with you guys causes you to begin to understand the value of becoming the best version of yourself. And as we continue to grow together, man, again, I'm just so grateful, the fact that we have this opportunity to be able to do so on this Thankful Thursday. Yeah, man. I titled this one, Why Purpose? Because a lot of people do not know the importance of purpose. They don't understand how imperative it is that we discover our purpose. Again, you don't have to go and create something. You have to discover it. It's something that's already buried on the inside of you. It's something that you were born with. It's something that you possess. It's the reason why you were created. It's the reason why you're here in this earth. Your purpose is so important to life itself. It helps everything make sense. As I was growing up in life, there were many questions that I used to have. I used to always, wonder why I grew up fatherless, and it was so discouraging at times, because I always had that heart to desire my father. I would be that kid that would stand at the door, if my dad said he was coming with my bags packed, like that image, standing there with two suitcases in your hand, with the door wide open, standing in front of the screen door, looking out, hoping that your dad will show up. I was that kid, and I always wanted that feeling. I always desired it, but it never happened. And, and y'all know, those who have been following me, y'all know the situation that took place, when my father and I forgave one another. We had that, a huge and amazing talk where we forgave one another, me for resenting him for not being there. He got the guilt off his heart. I got the resentment off my heart. And, there's nothing right now that I couldn't call and ask my father for. And we have that relationship now, but that wasn't just for me. And that's what I understand, because I'm in a position of purpose. I'm in a position of speaking truth. I'm in a position of being a teacher. I'm in a position of being an example, through my gifting. It's so amazing because I realize that this is prophecy. This is part of, the text. This is part of the truth. It says that, that I will return the hearts of the fathers back to the children and the hearts of the children back to the father. I had to go through that. I had to experience that in order to know that in my position where I've been purposed to go, that literally I have the opportunity to help these young kings that's out here fatherless, that's out here desiring that presence, that's out here desiring that relationship, and the fathers who are out here not being fathers, that have shirked their responsibility. I'm in a position to help that to come back together. And so that's what's so amazing when you understand your purpose. Purpose is the original intent of a thing, right? And that's what we have to really understand. It says that there's many are the plans of the man's heart, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. What that basically means is that there are many things that you will come up with, many devices, many ideas of what you feel like you should be doing. But the reason why you were created, the original intent, the purpose of you, it shall prevail over all your plans. And that's why, again, finding your purpose, discovering your purpose is so imperative, because it literally teaches you how all of this come together. That's why it says, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. All things, the good, the bad, the indifferent. That's why I had to, again, understand that these just weren't scriptures. These were laws that were speaking to us, that were trying to guide us, that was literally strategically showing us the way or showing us the ropes. And so, again, growing up without a father, it taught me that I was just part of the script. That's it. You know what I mean? I had to be part of this. I couldn't get around this. This was part of my purpose. Yes, I look back and be like, man, if I would have had a father here, I'd have had a pops here who would have gave me the instructions here, and they gave me this, I would have avoided it. None of that matters. At the end of the day, it was part of my purpose. Once I was able to understand purpose, start walking in purpose, start living out my purpose, I was then able to release that feeling or that desire of, what if this was like this? Or if this was like this? None of that mattered. I had to go through what I had to go through, just like you have to go through what you have to go through in order to fulfill purpose. Without it, I'm telling you, without these adversities, you are nobody. That is just the reality. First thing, if I was to say segregation, inequality, who's the first person you think about? Dr. Martin Luther King? If I was to say apartheid, genocide, who was the first person you think about? Nelson Mandela? Why is it that we remember these people by the adversity? Is because adversity builds character. Adversity reveals character. And so when you understand that what you are going through in life, that there is a purpose behind every single thing, then you'll begin to search for your purpose instead of paying attention to the problems. It is the way that it is for a reason. I don't know, but listen, it has to be this way. Like I was sharing with you, kings and queens, yesterday, right, about air, one of the natural four elements of the earth, right? I was sharing with you, kings and queens, yesterday about air and how wind is created, right? And it was just so dope, again, through my studying, how it was saying that when the sunlight hits the earth, you know, it naturally thins the air, which causes it to rise. And it said in other areas when the sunlight is not hitting the earth, it says that cold air, it causes it to become heavy, and then it lowers. So with that element on the one side that's becoming thin from the heat of the sun that's rising, and the lack thereof where it's becoming cold and is lowering, that is what creates wind. And so again, we'll look at life and we'll be on the side of where it's cold, where there's no sunlight, where things don't seem to be going right, and it seems like things are lowering or things are not where we desire them to be. But we forget that on the other side of the spectrum, that there is another element working. That's what you have to understand, that there are other elements working in your life that you can't see right now, but it's causing you to become the greatest version of you. It's causing you to figure out and discover why you're here, so that you can become the greatest version of you, so ultimately that you help other people. Y'all have no idea how many inboxes I get. I'm talking about people that I've never met in life, people that I may never meet in life, and they're pouring out their lives, from whether they're going through divorce or they're fighting depression or they're thinking about committing suicide. It's pouring in my inbox. And I'm being used to help them to figure out life. I'm being used to help them to discover their purpose. I'm being used to help them navigate through life. If I wasn't going through what I was going through, or if I hadn't gone through what I had gone through, then there's no possible way that I can help these people. I'm talking about people whose hand I may never shake in life. And they're literally pouring out their whole entire life in my inbox, based off of what I said in these videos, based off of me walking in my purpose. But I'm sharing with you what I've gone through. That's it. So I'm saying to you this morning, kings and queens, is that literally what it is that you have gone through in life, it'll only make sense when you discover your purpose. That's it. It'll only make sense when you are walking in your purpose. All things work together. Not some of the things, not most of the things, all of the things work together. Those who are called according to what? His purpose. I'm telling you, man, it just all makes sense. It literally all makes sense. Why I had to overcome obesity. Why I had to be facing a mandatory minimum of 10 years, a maximum of 20 to life. I'm talking about sitting in these funky cages that were literally created for animals and not for mankind. I'm talking about sitting amongst, people who've committed crimes, and I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. This is what I'm talking about when I say purpose. I can remember sitting in them jail cells, and I'm in there looking like, man, this is not where I belong. This is not where I'm supposed to be. But the reality of it is that I was literally facing a mandatory minimum of 10 years, a maximum of 20 to life. Period. I can look at, man, I grew up in the impoverished areas. I grew up in the hood. I grew up around gang banging and dope dealing. Why? Listen, all of it comes together when you find your purpose. See, these are the young kings that's out here that's lost, that I can have, that I can empathize with, that I can sympathize with, that I am being sent into these neighborhoods. I'm being sent into these schools. I'm being sent into these juvenile centers and these prison systems to speak life to these people. Why? Because I went through the same thing, and I'm an example how to get out of it. It all fits together. It all goes together. You are experiencing the same thing in your life right now, but you are struggling with how to get out of it because you will not tap into your purpose. See, we live in a society that teaches us to focus on everything else outside of our purpose. So today you might be focusing on your children. Tomorrow you might be focusing on your finances. The next day you might be focusing on something that's going on in the house. The next day you focus on something that's going on in your job. The next day you focused on traffic. The next day you focused on your spouse or your companion. The next day you focused on your weight. The next day you focused on your appearance. The next day, so you keep focusing on all of these things. Do you not realize that is called schizophrenia? Really? And that's why your mind seems like it's going crazy, because you keep having to focus on all of these things over and over and over again to never get it right. But see, this is what I told my homegirl hit me up yesterday, right? Because I could just tell something was the matter with her. I'm just like, man, reach out to me when you can, right? And so she called me and she was just saying, she's dealing with this, she's dealing with that, she's dealing with this, she's dealing with that, she's dealing with this, and all of these different things. She was like, man, Drew, I'm just not myself right now. This is what was so powerful, right? Because then she was like, man, but God is giving me this idea. He's giving me this idea, this amazing idea of, something that I feel led to work on, right? So what I helped her to see was this, because we're walking in purpose. I said, look at how you're having to focus on all of these different things that seem to be negative in your life, right? But the Most High is still giving you an idea. Check this out. Look how if you focused on that one idea, how it begins to birth something in you that's so positive that not only impacts your life, but impacts those lives who the idea will touch. I said, look how that works, right? I said, you're trying to focus on all of these other different components. All of these other different components is bringing negativity in your life. It's bringing your spirit down. It's causing you to be discouraged. I said, but look how if you focus on this idea, how that gives you encouragement, how it gives you hope, how it gives you light, how it uplifts your spirit. But then not only does it impact your life, but it impacts other people's lives. You focus on 10 different things, or you focus on one thing. You focus on 10 different things, or you focus on one thing. If you focus on that one thing, those 10 different things are automatically taken care of. That's how it works. Y'all don't think that I'm going through stuff right now? Y'all don't think that I'm struggling right now? Y'all don't think that I'm having hardships and I'm fighting battles within myself right now? But the thing is that when I get up and I serve my gift, all of those different things go away. All of those things have to be taken care of. When you handle the Father's business, the Father handles your business. That's how it works. You are an ambassador. An ambassador means that you are literally a walking representation of the king and the country. That's like if you are an ambassador of the United States. Anywhere you go in the country is automatically taken care of. Your kids' tuition to school is taken care of. Your mortgage is taken care of. You are an ambassador. Look up what an ambassador is and the benefits of an ambassador. So that's what you have to understand. When you walk in your purpose, literally, when you walk in your purpose and you fulfill the original intent for your life, all of the other stuff is taken care of. That's why JC said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all of his righteousness, and all of these things shall be added to you. He told you don't focus on the 20 different things, because the 20 different things will drive you crazy. It'll drive you crazy. I work out and take care of my health because I understand it's a part of my purpose. I strive daily to be a better father because it's all a part of my purpose. I'm learning daily how to treat and love a woman, to be a great husband, because it's all part of my purpose. I'm not doing that and then trying to do something else and then trying to do something else and then trying to know. I'm focused on purpose, and all of the other stuff falls right up under the umbrella. What you have inside of you, kings and queens, is so invaluable that the world needs it in order to become better. That's why things bother you. That's why you see problems in the world, because you are the solution. What bothers you doesn't bother the next man. What motivated me to become a speaker is the lack of leadership in the world. That doesn't bother everybody. But then when I tapped into my purpose, I seen that I had the ability to influence people through speaking. It was already laid out. That's what I'm telling you this morning, kings and queens, is that what's in you, What you desire to have out of life, the success you desire to experience is all inside of your purpose. Your purpose is there to protect you. It protects me from making dumb decisions. Do I always win and not make all the dumb decisions? Absolutely not. But it protects me from making dumb decisions, from getting high, from getting out here selling drugs, from going out here to being a womanizer. All of these different things are under the umbrella of my purpose. Under the umbrella of your purpose is all the answers that you're looking for. I had to go through everything that I've ever experienced in life because it was all part of my purpose. I am being used daily to uplift people, to edify people, to help change people's lives. I don't know why. I do not know why I was selected to do this. But I stopped trying to figure out the will that I wanted to do in life and simply submitted and humbled myself to the will of the Creator who knew exactly why He created me, and everything makes sense now. That's why it's so easy to help other people. That's why it's so easy to speak life into people. That's why it's so easy to be transparent. That's why it's so easy to share my life in front of everybody. Why? Because I understand that I never created me. I didn't create this life. I didn't create the way I look. I didn't create the way I feel. All I did was I acknowledged it, I accepted it, and I began to cultivate it. In the book of Genesis, right, it's so dope, right? Because after the Father created us, He then took us and He placed us in Eden, the Garden of Eden. Eden means atmosphere or presence, right? And then He told us to work. So before man got a woman, He told man to work. Work in the Hebrew is the word edagon, and it means to become. So that's just like a chick. When a chick is laid and it's hatching out of its egg, it begins to become. It becomes what it was created to do. What was it created to do? It was created to fly. So when we see a bird flying, we say that that bird is working. When we see you, do we see a person with a career, or can we say that you are working, that you are becoming what you were created to become? Inside of that tadpole is the ability to swim, and that fish was designed to swim. So when we see a fish swimming, we don't say that it's jobbing, we say that it's working. What will we say about you? Because when we look at greats that we admire all over the world, we look at the people like President Obama, we say that he is working. He's doing what he was created to do, regardless of if you agree with all his policies. You still can't stop that man from being known internationally. You still can't stop that man from being in 2 consecutive terms. You still can't stop him. We say that he's working. When we look at you, will we say that you are working? When people see Andrew Clayborn speaking, they say that Andrew Clayborn is working. This is what I was designed to do. Again, when we look at you, will we say that you are working? That can be interior decorating. That can be organizing. You can be a great organizer. If you are, I need you. Hit me up in the inbox. We need some organization going on. You know what I mean? That can be in the area of fitness. That can be in the area of entertainment and acting, or in music. That can be in the area of politics and policies. That can be in the area of government. Whatever it is, whatever that's burning inside of you, the very first thing that you thought about when you was a kid, that was so big, that was such an amazing dream, tap back into that. Because we need it. We need it. But you need it. You need it because it makes the totality of your life make sense. Why your father was there or wasn't there. Why your mother was there or wasn't there. Why you went through a divorce or you're going through a happy marriage. Why your children are now rebelling when they weren't. Why you didn't get the education that people believe that you deserve. Why you were fighting obesity or you overcame it. Why you are struggling with speech impediment. Why you went through all the things that you went through, kings and queens, from divorces to molestation, to abuse, to rape. All of it falls under the umbrella of purpose. All of it. And now that I discovered my purpose, I can literally come before you guys every single day. Just last year, right? Just last year. Check this out, man. This is how powerful purpose is and how it helps you. Just last year, I shared with you guys the breakup that I went through, right? I'm going to tell y'all right now. Listen to me, man. If I can be transparent, listen to me, kings and queens. I will be real with y'all, man. Hey, listen, I don't ever want to experience that again. I promise you I don't. Listen, Lord, help a brother, because I don't ever want to experience that again. I mean, like, that was one of the most devastating things I ever gone through in life. People have walked away from my life, but I guess that I really did not care, and I really was not in it. But this one right here, oh my God, it felt like I died 10 times. I'm telling you, it broke my heart. Like, it literally broke my heart. And for the last, I would say 4 or 5 months of the year last year, I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to read. I didn't want to study. I didn't want to write. I didn't want to do nothing. Everything that I was giving you, kings and queens, the last 4 or 5 months of 2016, when I was pouring out, speaking, man, all of that was stuff that was stored up. All of that. It wasn't anything new that I was reading or I was studying. I'm telling you, all that I was giving you was stuff that was stored up in me because I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to do nothing. Listen, if fitness wasn't part of my life and I wasn't such a big, huge eater, I'd have probably lost about 40 pounds because I wouldn't have been eating anything. But I don't know how people do that because I need food 24/7. But I'm talking about all of those symptoms that people have experienced going through divorces and breakups. Man, listen, I was broken. I cannot lie. But the one thing that kept me going was my purpose. That's why y'all kept seeing me get on here like, man, hey, welcome to another conversation with Drew. A great day, kings and queens. Yeah, that's why I kept doing it, because that was literally the only thing, and I can feel it. I can feel that was the only thing that was keeping me going. But look how, in the midst of Andrew Clayborn's personal issues, I was able to remove that or pursue what it was that I knew that I was here to do. So automatically, it kept me going. It helped me to make it. It helped me to keep pushing. It was the encouraging that I needed. It was the power that I needed. It was the sanity that I needed. It was the peace that I needed. It was the strength that I needed. It was purpose. I can't attribute it to anything else because I never felt nothing like that. I'm talking about if this woman just happened to text me freaking 3 or 4 months later, you know what I mean, after the breakup, it was like my heart was stopped. It was the craziest thing I ever felt in life. It was like she had my heart in her hand and she can squeeze it or let it go. Like, it was something I never felt before. And I could not understand it because I had never been there. So what I'm saying is that what you are going through, if you've never been there, if you never experienced, find your purpose and it will all make sense. Now, I can be used to go talk to some broken-hearted women or some broken-hearted men. Man, because we got a lot of things that we can see eye to eye on. I can empathize with them to the core. You understand me? But that's why you have to understand purpose. Because that didn't kill me. It cultivated something great inside of me. It helped me discover the power of forgiveness and the power of unconditional love. It taught me truth. It taught me valuable lessons that I can take on in life and share with many across the world and help them to discover their purpose even in the midst of their brokenheartedness. So that's why I'm saying, kings and queens, I hope y'all get this morning, man, is that your purpose, this discovering of your purpose, helps the totality of life make sense. Everything that you've ever experienced in life, it will all make sense when you discover your purpose, because then you recognize why you had to go through what you went through. I don't care if you was the biggest dope fiend in the world and you found sobriety. I don't care if you was the biggest whore in the world and you're working on yourself to become a king or a queen. It does not matter. All of that, all of it, kings and queens, is part of your purpose. Because you only did what you knew. But now that you know better, you can do better. Now that you have better understanding and comprehension, you can do better. You can begin to apply it, which we call wisdom, and become better, and then help somebody else out, and then help teach somebody else how to work it out while they're in the midst of all that darkness, or in the midst of all of that struggle, or in the midst of all of that pain. How does it happen? Like I said, I'm getting things in my inboxes that I've never personally experienced. I've had more people hit me up about divorce and marriage than in this last year than in my entire life. And I've never been married yet. But what I understand, kings and queens, is that because I am in my purpose, it is causing me to find out who I am and why I'm here, and to be able to help other people discover that. Because that's how great you are. That what's inside of you is so valuable that you have to go through these things in order for it to come out. That's just the way it works, man. It's just the way it works. It's just the way it works. Adversity does not come to destroy you. Adversity comes to cultivate the greatness that's inside of you. Always remember that. Adversity is always going to reveal your character. It's always going to reveal where you are in life. That is the reality. It is not coming to destroy you. Do not believe that. Do not think that. Do not accept that. Adversity comes to pull out the greatness that's inside of you. Again, when we think about segregation, inequality, who's the first person that comes to mind? Is that not adversity? Absolutely. Dr. King comes to mind. When we think about apartheid and genocide in South Africa, who's the first person that comes to mind? Nelson Mandela comes to mind. Why? Because adversity did not destroy them. It did not come to punish them. It only came to promote them. It only came to prepare them. And that's why we celebrate them to this day and will continue to. When we think about sin, who we think about? Jesus Christ, the Savior. Why is that? Because that's just the way that it freaking works, man. You can't get around it. You can't. You got to understand that that's the way that it is. It's the way that it was designed. It was created to be this way. Without evil, without bad, we will have no good. We will not understand the value of good. I'm telling you, kings and queens, that what your circumstances are right now, what you have gone through in life, all of the things that you have experienced, it was designed for you to find you. It was designed for you to discover the greatness that's inside of you that is wrapped into your purpose. What you have in you are gifts. And it says a man's gift will make room for him and bring him before great men. It will bring him before great kings. It doesn't matter if you're 20 years old, or it doesn't matter if you're 60 years old. If you still have breath in your lungs, you still have treasure inside of you. You still have a purpose on your life. I wonder why all the time I ask the same questions. I look at babies who are innocently born, who never did any wrong, who die, who come into this world and die right there, right in the hospital. And then I look and I go to the hood and I see people who in their 50s and 60s walking around that's been addicted to drugs, like walking zombies for the last 30, 40 years. And I look and I say, man, why are they still living? And that baby who did nothing wrong is dead. We say, well, what is fair? Fair is you discovering your purpose and putting it all together. That's what fair is. Because we don't know God's mind. We don't know everything that God does. But what I do know is that he placed in you a purpose. The reason why you was birthed in this earth was a purpose. And you must fulfill it. That's the only reason why you were here. It makes no sense to buy a car and sit it in your garage, do you? The purpose of a car is to be driven to get you from A to B. You weren't born to survive. You weren't born to exist. You weren't born to make a living. You were born to make a difference. And that's why you are here. Thank you, kings and queens, for tuning in. This is another conversation with Drew. This is a Thankful Thursday. But I tell you guys all the time, man, my motto is it's not a look, it's a lifestyle. Because we do this every day not to impress people, but to leave an impression on the earth. And that is one of the realest statements, man, that the Creator has ever given me. That you are here to leave an impression on the earth. When we look at you, will we say that you are jobbing, or will we say that you are working? Become the greatest version of you today. Do not settle for anything. You have brought into a new year, 2017, to do something great. Don't end up like you did last year, where you was trying to escape out of 2016, expecting 2017 to be better. The way that it's going to be better is upon the recognition and the discovery of your purpose, of why you're here. I promise you, I'm a living testimony, man. I'm going today, right now, man, to go and bury one of my childhood friends right now. Right now, I'm going to bury one of my childhood friends in a few hours. Somebody that I know my whole entire life, since I was a little kid. But he made the choice and the decision to be in a game that has no love for anybody. And it took his life violently. Somebody who you wouldn't even think that would be murdered like this took his life violently because he didn't understand purpose. He was making a living. He wasn't making a difference. And so what I say to you this morning, kings and queens, is that you have the opportunity and the responsibility to discover your purpose, to figure out why you're here. Everything that's in this earth was created for a purpose, with a purpose. You are the apex of all of creation. Do not settle for living and living and existing and surviving. Make a difference today. Decide in your life that this year is going to be a change in life, that I'm here to make a difference and not make a living, that I will discover my purpose and become the greatest version of me. No matter what I've gone through, and no matter what I'm going through, I am going to discover who I am and why I'm here and where I'm going and what I can place in this earth that will cause them to speak the name of me forever. When I die, I want everybody to know that I gave my all. I want my children to know that I gave my all, that I established a legacy for them that they can carry on for the rest of their lives and create their own legacies to be great. What are you doing today? Are you jobbing or are you working? That's the real question. I love you, kings and queens. Thank you, everybody who has donated to the movement, man, who has donated to the cause. Man, you have no idea how significantly that has helped. And if you have not had the opportunity, inbox me, man, so we can keep this thing going. I love you guys. God bless. Peace.